So, and other people aren't. So we'll see.
Let's go to 702 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Sam, it's Bro Flamingo from Las Vegas.
Bro Flamingo, what's up?
Hey, guys, what's going on? Haven't called in a while because I just kind of wanted to get over the whole Bernie thing and what's going on. And, I think this whole Joe Biden thing is going to go unresolved because, like, Sam, for a lot of the argument, I think I'm on your side. But I think the question of, is Joe Biden eminently replaceable? That's definitely in the air. That's no question. He is definitely replaceable. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But is he so weak as to he's replaceable? Absolutely. There's no question about that. He's weak as hell.
Oh, no, I agree that he as a candidate is replaceable. I mean, he's just a placeholder, like literally a placeholder. That seems to be the strategy. But I just think that the idea that the DNC is going to come in there and replace him without there being, a broad pushback and it being sort of a disaster, I think is, unless there's like some obvious thing, he's had a heart attack or, he goes on and has a stroke on camera. Cause I think they probably would avoid doing it if he wasn't on camera. I just think I don't know, but I don't want to spend too much time on this because this conversation is honestly like it's like a hypothetical inside a hypothetical around a bubble that is, people can go out and vote still in primaries going forward. In New York, we have one June 23rd. People can vote by mail and they can vote against Joe Biden.
But these primaries are massively attenuated, though.
Yeah, I agree. It's also part of the problem.
I want to say this also. I just want to kind of move on to another thing. But because, we can talk about this all day.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I know. Listen, I get what you're saying, but I just think, Sam, just a little bit, maybe just a little bit. Like, there's definitely in the air. There's just definitely like a feeling in the air, like this guy is freaking weak. I'm sorry, I haven't met anybody. Like, and you said this before too.
I agree.
Nobody's enthusiastic
but what do you do about it?
But I do think like there's definitely like a current of weakness in the air about Joe Biden. And there's one other thing I want to talk about, just real quick, because like, the Bernie thing is heartbreaking. Listen. The Republicans, that's just their day, okay?
You got to talk into the phone, dude. You're just getting quieter and quieter.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, Sam. So basically, look, the Republicans, it's just a bunch of thieves, thugs, and rapists, okay? That's just their day. That's just their due. What I really want to focus on, and look, I get it. Look, Trump is a bad guy. I get it. Yes, I get all of that. But some of these Democrats have to be punished now. I mean politically punished. Like Pelosi and some of these guys, a list has to start to emerge. Because listen, I voted for Hillary Clinton once. I did it, okay? With all the white supremacy, with all the dog whistles, with all the misogyny, boosting and burnishing Bill Clinton. I did it, okay? I held my nose. I did it. For Joe Biden, I'm gonna let it let it be known very clear. I'm not voting for Joe Biden again. I'm not voting for Joe Biden in a sense. I'm sorry, not again. But I'm not voting for Joe Biden because I'm tired of supporting the same class of thieves, thugs, and rapists. This guy does not support me.
That's
thing too. Like, wait, hold on. One more thing, guys. There's another thing too. Because listen, I get it. Okay, I really get it on some level. This is a very important election. But at the same time, Joe Biden, he's been part of the collective. Like we saw Ahmaud Arbery get killed. Okay. That's part of the crime, though. That's part of that racist environment that he's been boosting and burnishing. And I'm sick of it.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Sam, hold on. One second. Just one other thing. Also, okay? I'm tired of supporting racists. I'm not doing it, Sam. Listen, I agree.
Okay, I got you. You're not doing it. But let me just say this. It's clear you're not going to vote for Joe Biden. But if Joe Biden was president right now, the DOJ would be down there. There's no doubt about that. There's just no doubt about it. It's undeniable. It's a fact. The Office of Civil Liberties would be down on that police department and that prosecutor already.
No.
Fact.
No.
Fact. All right. That's where our disagreement is. That's our disagreement. I look at the Obama administration. I look at the consent decrees that were there. I look on day one when Donald Trump took over. I saw those consent decrees lifted. I saw the message, explicit message to those police departments. We will not interfere in these type of things. And if you think that Joe Biden can last for 5 minutes as president without having the DOJ down there, then you and I we do not see, you could be looking outside and I could say sunny day and you could look outside and say dark, no sun, raining. That's what we're going on here.
I tend to think the lifting of those decrees was more symbolic than anything.
And Jamie thinks they're useless. Maybe that's the case. Maybe the office, maybe the federal government has nothing to do with racism that exists in urban centers or state departments. Maybe there's no history of the Civil Rights Division doing anything that is positive in any way for police brutality. Maybe that exists. But okay, fine. You don't want to vote for Joe Biden? Don't vote for Joe Biden. Good luck. Hope that he wins anyways. I'm sick of this conversation. It's dumb. I get it. Joe Biden sucks.
Hold on. Sam, let me just say this. I have to say, because this is very important. I do get what you're saying. I'm not dismissing Sam, you're a crank, or I'm not trying to play a Jimmy Dore card here. Okay, not at all. I'm not freaking, I'm not one of these lunatics, but what I'm trying to say is here that, yeah, guess what? We had a black president, we had Joe Biden, whatever, and they're still killing black people every day.
I get it.
Okay. So big deal. The consent decree was symbolic.
Well, then maybe it'll get better if Donald Trump has a second term. Maybe if 4 more years of destroying the apparatus that our federal government has to deal with this, maybe that'll help. Go back and listen to Sam Bagenstos, who we had on the program in 2016, who was at the DOJ under Clinton and then came back after 8 years of Bush. Go back and listen to that. Maybe these people who work in these offices, maybe they know crap. Maybe it does nothing. Maybe it means nothing. In which case, let's just wrap this shit up. What are we wasting our time here for? There's no difference between appointing who the nominee is or voting for it. There's no difference between a functioning Department of Justice, civil liberties, and just police departments being told, go ahead. There'll be absolutely no punishment, no retribution for what you do. You will have no accountability. Maybe these things mean absolutely nothing. In which case, let's just wait until the shit hits the fan and maybe things will be better.
I don't think we have to wait. The shit has hit the fan.
Okay. I appreciate the call, man. I'm going. I'm moving on. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it. It's, you know what? There's plenty of other places to do, but this is all just sort of this is all just wankery.
Can I just say, we all agree the price must be paid, but we can't just will it to be vote for Greens or vote for something else on the election day. It's all wankery. That's all it is.
We're spending way too much time on this.
Exactly.
It is you have to believe that none of this stuff is relevant. And I don't believe that. The reason why I have these people on who work in the government or talk about these things is because I think that even if it's incremental, it has some meaning. If it has no meaning, then fine. Then nothing has meaning. Great.
I mean, looking at the outcomes, it is clear from study after study in city after city that the only real way to reduce police violence against the populace, especially Black and brown people, is to reduce the budget of police departments and to shut down jails. That is the best way to keep people safe.
Best or the only way?
The best way.
There can be no incremental, stop and frisk.
The most bang for your buck.
Doesn't make a difference. Stop and frisk doesn't make a difference. We could reinstitute it tomorrow and it wouldn't make a difference in the lives of individuals.
It does. That is part of reducing police activity, taking away stop and frisk. Yes.
Do you know the process in which stop and frisk ended?
I'm sure you want to tell us.
Federal judiciary. Do you know who appoints the federal judiciary? Do you want to bet that it wasn't a Trump or a Bush appointee who ended that?
Sure.
I mean, the point is that these things, which are, I get they are not, sexy or monumental or whatnot, but the incremental difference in people's lives who are no longer stopped by stop and frisk, that's a benefit. Hasn't solved anything beyond that. It has made those people, those kids who will not get stopped, their lives are slightly better. They have one less obstacle to compete with in their life. They haven't been stopped by a dozen times by the cops every time they step out of their house.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly isn't nothing, but I think you also need to be more sensitive to the reasons why people like Bro Flamingo would be hesitant to vote for Joe Biden.
I just said, don't vote for Joe Biden.
People who've been hurt by the policies that he played a direct role in.
I get it.
Might continue to
I get it, but we have a binary choice. We have a binary choice. It's either him or Donald Trump. Period. End of story. In New York, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and I hope that New Yorkers join me. And maybe if a majority of people vote against Joe Biden in the primary in New York, that will go some way to like creating some type of sense that Joe Biden should be the nominee. But everything else is just like, I'm sorry. It's wankery. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And it's a waste of my time.
It's not strategy. It's personal expression.
It's not strategy. Like, I get it. Like I said, I've said multiple times, I've had people who have written me, multiple people who have written me and said, I can't vote for Joe Biden. I'm a victim of sexual assault. I can't vote for Joe Biden. Fine. I get it. But the idea that if they writ me and said, I'm a victim of sexual assault, and if I vote for Joe Biden, I think there's going to be more sexual assault than there would be if Donald Trump was president, that's a different story. If Bro Flamingo doesn't want to vote for Joe Biden because he feels that Joe Biden's policies has impacted him and he emotionally can't do it, that's fine. But to say that it is meaningless, the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, to say that it's a strategy to not vote for Joe Biden, I'm sorry. None of those things are true. And I'm not doing a show and spending hour after hour after hour talking about how, like, I get it. If you have an emotional issue that keeps you from voting for Joe Biden, fine. That's not fine. But to say that it makes no difference, I'm sorry, it's just.
Or maybe people think it won't make enough of a difference.
You know what? That's on them. Because then you have to deny all the things that I've said. Stop and frisk.
Like,
not important.
If you sat there and you say, okay, the cops used to kill 100 Black people a month, and now they only kill 99 Black people a month. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Still not good enough.
I agree.
No one's saying be satisfied with that.
No one's saying be satisfied, but you have two options. Which one do you prefer, 100 or 99?
Yeah, I mean, if I have to choose, obviously I prefer less death.
Boom.
That's
the whole conversation.
Which is why I still hope that Biden beats Trump in spite of how much I hate him. Exactly. But I'm also sensitive to the reasons why people wouldn't think that it matters.
Exactly. I am too. We're in agreement. But that's my point, is that we keep having this conversation over and over again. 99 better than 100. And I'm not saying that we should be satisfied with 99, but we have a binary choice. This is one of the few times in our politics where we have binary choices, and that's on election day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I'm still trying to die on this hill because I think it's not the most important thing right now.
It's not
voting.
Like there, like there's, and to the extent that there's like any life left on this hill, like let's just try and convince people to vote for Bernie in New York. I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference, but it could.
Yeah. I talked to my mom yesterday and convinced her to vote for Bernie in Pennsylvania.
I'm convinced that if, all of a sudden, I don't know what would precipitate it, but if all of a sudden, Bernie started winning primaries again, that would be good. That might, Joe Biden might push 1 or 2 percentage points, and who knows what else can happen. But like and like I say, emotionally speaking, I can understand why people wouldn't want to vote for somebody from an emotional standpoint, but it's not strategy. And it's, and it's just, I'm just talking from an objective standpoint. The fact of the matter is that the implications of Donald Trump being president on me in particular, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it would, outside of my mental state, I don't think it's going to have any type of material impact on me. For the worst, I don't know. Maybe they'll start to audit, but I've paid all my taxes. But from a purely objective standpoint, if anything means anything, then Donald Trump is worse for marginalized people in this country. Well,
I mean, to look at the police, I mean, I bet the sergeants think that Trump is better for them than the generic Democrat, for instance.
I think without a doubt. I think it does make a difference. Consent decrees, I think having the DOJ breathing down your neck, I think it does make a difference. I mean, we've had former cops who've IM'd the show, who've called into the show, who've emailed, and the thing they said over and over again, there's not going to be any change until you have DAs who are going to start to come down on these cops. And they're going to know that they can't get away with this. And when DAs don't do it, then the DOJ's got to step in. And there's a reason why maybe it was just completely performative on Jeff Sessions' part. Why he basically lifted all these consent decrees and said to these police departments, the DOJ is not going to interfere in your work. But I think it was probably also because he knew what happened. It's basically like, guys, we're just not paying attention anymore. In fact, we're going to protect you.
Yeah. I mean, most of the good things that have happened in history have been because people who were oppressed were like, these incremental changes, not good enough. We need more. We're not going to wait. That said, voting doesn't really factor into that much in my mind.
I agree. That's what I mean. We're spending too much time on this.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Here is Alex Azar coming out, Health and Human Services, basically explaining that the reason why we have so many people dying in this country versus other countries is because, well, here it is.
This as a country.
Jake, you can't celebrate a single death. Every death is a tragedy.